And we're going right now. Here we go. Get ready and...
Hello, and welcome to This Family Has Had Its Differences, and we've squabbled, but we've never had knife fights before podcast, the perfectly cromulent Simpsons show, where each week we sit down and we talk about Simpsons. We go through the Simpsons episodes, and I'm totally stuttering again. It's fine. Welcome. You guys are used to my crappy intros.
Welcome to the Stuttering Podcast. I'm your host, Kristen.
Yeah, pretty much. Each week, two lifelong Simpsons fans sit down and talk about a Simpsons episode, and we nitpick and we look through it and we talk about all the funny things, but mostly we just talk about the episode and life.
I think that your intro is actually basically an analogy for what this show is. Like, we just sit down. I'm not kidding. Truly, sit down and relate with us. We have been watching The Simpsons since we were children. And whether you're new to The Simpsons and you're like, oh, I would love a companion podcast to kind of like get me through all this. And like, you know, so I don't know how people are doing it, but it's relatable. Everything that I try to do on the show is relatable. So us coming in, you go listen to my intros, buddy. They're not fucking perfect. Rarely. I just keep going.
Words keep flowing out of my mouth.
1,000 words past the mistake. I'm already, you can't even, don't even talk to me. So I think the point is that we
laugh.
Yeah, exactly. It's relatable. Everything we're doing is relatable. Hey, fuckers, if you're laughing at Kristen, where's your podcast? I want to hear it. Better be fucking stutter free.
Right? And also, if you have horrible intros to your podcast, please send us clips. We'd love to hear.
We'll use them as our cold opens.
Yeah, we will I think that'd be hilarious. I think it would be hilarious if some people sent us that and we did that. I think it'd be the best. And plus cross promotion for everyone then.
We'll take that. That's win, guys, as long as you're not doing weird stuff.
Yeah, like, you know, weird. It's got to be pretty weird. We're both kind of strange, so it's got to be pretty weird.
No, you'll know what weird is. You'll know.
And I'm your host, Kristen, and this is the other host, Jesse. Hi, Jesse.
You hoy hoy.
You can find us on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram and all the social media places under the Cromulent Simpsons podcast show. I said it wrong. It's fine. Just look at Cromulent podcast crap. Don't search that.
Cromulent show.
Cromulent show. I don't know why I really want to say the word podcast today, but like I want to say the word.
It's a pretty good word. Today. There's a lot of hard consonants. Podcast.
It's just I don't know. I don't know why it's really stuck in my head today. Like it's there.
Works
anyway.
For me because that's what we are. God damn it.
I know. But go find us in those places and give us a follow. Share them with your friends. Even if you just send the silly clips and things to them and maybe they'll like it and come and check it out. And then you guys can talk about us and how we got whatever right or wrong or pointed out some weird fact that you didn't know and stuff. Because that's part of what we do here too. We find little weirdnesses or little facts that, maybe escaped you and cultural references that maybe you didn't understand, but it's totally a thing. And that's part of what makes it fun. There we go. That's us, I think, mostly.
100%.
Anyway, should we get into the show? Should we start?
Nah, let's pander a while longer.
Today's Oh, wait, I have the wrong page up, so you're going to have to bear with me.
Wow, professional.
I know, professional. Today's episode is The Otto Show. It's the 22nd episode of season 3. So episode number 57, production code 8F21. And it aired on April 23rd, 1992. The chalkboard gag was, I will not spin the turtle. And then we have a repeat couch gag on this one, which is Angry Santa's little helper on the couch. You know, they all run to the couch and he growls. Because it's his couch now. Written by Jeff Martin and directed by Wes Archer. Special guest voices are Christopher Guest as Nigel Tufnell and Michael McKean as David St. Hubbins, which they're both characters from Spinal Tap, because Spinal Tap appears in the episode. So there's there you go. There's that. Before we get too far into the episode, I'd like to take us back to April 23rd, 1992. So
We need a Wayback Machine sound.
I know, so disgustingly long ago at this point that if you were like alive and you remember 1992, welcome to being middle-aged. How does it feel?
While the rest of us are going.
So on April 23rd, 1992, McDonald's opened its first fast food restaurant in China.
Dang, we had Disneyland opening in Paris for last week's episode, and McDonald's opening in China.
That was great. That's a great Trump. I loved it.
You guys couldn't see my hand motions. It's a much better impression with that.
The number one song. Can you even guess what the number one song is? Like, just out of curiosity,
I know the last week it was a Mariah Carey song.
This is a bop. I don't care who you are. If you don't like this song, there's something wrong with you.
If you don't like this song, then fuck you.
Fuck you. It's Jump by Criss Cross.
Oh,
Jump,
Jump. My greatest memory of Criss Cross is when Beavis and Butthead had this episode or this song on their episode, and Butthead goes, "How do those dudes take a piss?"
Because they
wore their clothes backwards. Yes.
You know. Anyway, so jump. That's our song.
That is a bop. You're not wrong.
It is a bop. And I wanted to talk about video games this week because obviously I'm a streamer and I stream video games. And the number one arcade game in the week of April 23rd, 1992 is Street Fighter 2. That's what everybody's spending all their quarters on.
Yeah. And you know what? I always forget that we should definitely promote the fact that you stream more. You guys go follow Kristen on Twitch. She won't promote herself, and it's like I didn't forget she streams. She has just so like elegantly sidestepped it that I was like, oh, maybe I not mentioned it. So thank you for mentioning it. It's Kristen A.E.H. like the Canadian she is. Go find her and follow her and watch her. She is fun, and I will almost certainly be in the chats. That's what I try to do.
You try to be there, and we're so happy when you are there. And then we're like, hey, go listen to The Simpsons to everybody that's there.
Exclamation point Simpsons! Exclamation point Simpsons!
We have no shame. It's fine. But yeah, I just thought that was cool because like Street Fighter 2 is a good game. And I remember playing like the console version of it and being super hyped about it.
I was just going to say, I don't think I ever really played it arcade, but the console version.
Console, for sure, right? Yeah.
Well, because back B to do a Dukin is the easiest combo you can ever do, but you felt so fucking cool because you were doing combos.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I can't remember what the console games were, like, because there was a big list of them because it depended on what console that you were playing on, but Sonic the Hedgehog was definitely up there. And I do not remember what the other one was. But yeah, so there you go. There's a little snippet of time of this, April 23rd, 1992, way back in the way back machine. So onto the episode. So the episode opens with Homer walking in wearing the coolest jacket, which is like one of those brown leather jackets with tassels all over it. And he's super excited because his concert going jacket still fits. It's a beautiful jacket. It's such a stereotypical concert going jacket, I feel like, for any TV show or like for forever, absolutely fully tasseled. And even in there, and this is our first like pop culture reference, is in there in his beer holding pocket, which he has in his jacket, is a Billy beer. And do you know what Billy beer is?
I am not like familiar of like, I know that it existed. It's definitely a name that I'm familiar with. I don't know like what the
and I can't, I don't want to get it wrong, so I'm gonna
I'll look it up really while you go on a little bit if you want.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I don't want to get it wrong because it is a thing, and I remember, but I also forget.
It's Jimmy Carter's little brother's beer.
That's it. Yeah, it's his little brother's beer, and apparently it is awful. Like it's never been good. Yeah, like so that's part of the thing is that it's awful and it's never been good. Anyway, so he's got a Billy beer in there.
The can in the episode very accurate to the can in in real life.
Yeah, they did a good job. So he's got his concert going shirt. he's got his Billy beer. Also, I forgot to mention that it actually opens with Bart wearing his Spinal Tap shirt. So right away, you know what concert they're going to because
Right.
Bart's got a
London,
Spinal Tap.
Paris, Munich, and Springfield.
Because where else would you go on a world tour? Right?
Well, Springfield is 3 times the size of East Texas.
I also love that Bart's got a carton of eggs with him to whip at the opening act while they're waiting. Like, while they're waiting for the real, like he's going in for the full on hardcore rock and roll experience. Bart is, like he's there for it.
And who the fuck cares about an opening act?
Right. So then Marge expresses some concern over Bart going to the concert because about his hearing and stuff like that, to which Homer is like, I've been to thousands of rock concerts. I'm fine.
It never hurt me.
And we don't know what else Marge says because you hear it from Homer's point of view and it's just all the ringing and damaged hearing.
After the explosion in Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just.
Anybody with tinnitus is just so upset at that episode.
Oh yeah, no, I feel it every day of my life. So then Bart and Homer leave. They go to pick up Milhouse. On the way, they're listening to the radio, and it's all about Spinal Tap. It's
if you got Spinal Tap guessing, it fucking better be.
Yeah. They go pick up Milhouse. Milhouse comes out looking the most hardcore that he's ever looked before in his life because he's got like a studded leather jacket on with the straps and everything, and no t-shirt. Like just
yeah. Bart doesn't even clown him. He's like, "Whoa, Milhouse!"
Right? Like Milhouse looks badass, and his jacket cost him 50,000 Bazooka Joe comics. For those people that don't know what Bazooka Joe is, it was a gum. Like you got it. It's a comic that came in bubblegum, and
like a 1 or 2 panel comic was the wrapper of every piece of bubblegum.
Yes. So there you go. And he costs Milhouse 50,000 of them to get the jacket.
That's a lot of gum wrappers.
There's a lot of gum. So they get to, of course, they get to this Springfield Arena place, and it's got the big Spinal Tap sign up on there. People are pouring in. Homer's not like at first when I first started watching this, I could not remember if Homer went in or with them or not, but he doesn't. He decides to stay in the car because he's had a lot of great nights in his car.
In the back of cars. Oh, yeah, it's so good.
So Homer informs him that he'll be fine in the car, and he reminisces about times when he just sat in the car by himself. And one of them is at the lookout point in Springfield where he is in the car all by himself. And the car is a rockin'. And maybe at first you might think that there was somebody with him, but really he's just eating pizza and hot dogs and rocking back and forth, very content with life.
Why wouldn't you be?
Right? I think all Homer even said, like, I don't even think Homer tells the kids like why he likes it, but he's just like and the kids like look at each other like what, like what's with him, and Homer just drives away, leaving 2 10-year-olds to go to a Spinal Tap concert on their own.
Yeah. It's when boys become men,
right?
Spinal Tap.
So they start walking to the concert. Of course, there's vendors everywhere, including the timeless. So they're selling shirts and stuff, including the timeless classic of Spinal Tap kicking. It's a dictator guy, isn't it? I don't really know who he is. I've heard the name before, but I don't really know who he is. But they're kicking him.
I'm gonna have to go back, but yeah, I will. When I find it, I will catch up.
So there's a Spinal Tap shirt for $31. That's the tour shirt from Reese, like that tour that they're on, $31. But then this one of this other one, this like timeless classic, is 2 for $1. Like I think he's like a dictator, like a army guy. I forgot to write down his name, so I do not remember. But anyways, your normal pre-concert walking past vendors type of thing.
Yeah. You get like the official ones and the knockoff ones.
Yeah.
Wait, why are these only $8?
Right. And then we cut to a backstage interview with the KBBL guys, interviewing Spinal Tap and asking them. I love that the first question they ask is, how do you feel about people saying that you're washed up, and that yet here they are among the top 105 acts of today? Like it's like It's like you're still calling them washed up. It's all right, you know. Um,
It's Muammar Gaddafi
thank you,
in the
thank
on the
you,
shirt.
thank you. So then they talk about. So then they reply that after the wall came down in Berlin, that
We
all
got a
of
boost in sales.
all their music started flowing into other places, and they got a boost in sales, and that's why they're so poignant now. Um, and obviously, I don't know if anybody out there has ever seen This Is Spinal Tap, but like This Is Spinal Tap so Spinal Tap is a like comedic rock group type of thing based on like they are from the movie This Is Spinal Tap, which is a comedy written by an American guy and a British guy. They all play British rockers, like hardcore metal rockers. They're not particularly smart, and you kind of get that feeling in here where like they can't even name the countries and
Like
things like
literally,
that.
Airheads is going to be like a very close counterpart to it. Like those of us
Yeah.
who miss Spinal Tap early, like my memories are of Airheads a lot more. Like I
It's
associate the
similar.
movies. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, similar. Um, so then we cut to outside where Bart and Milhouse have found their seats, and they're taking part in the pre-concert thing. There's a sound check going on, and people are throwing frisbees and stuff. Of which Bart catches one because he even does that when he's in the school auditorium, catches things and throws it back. But this time, when Bart goes to whip the frisbee back out into the crowd, he smacks a guy in the face that's sitting next to him, and he's like, "Oh my god!" Like, and Bart looks horrified. He's like, "Oh my god, I'm sorry." And the guy is clearly so stoned that he has no idea that he even got hit in the
I
face.
just hit you with that frisbee. Frisbee?
And like Bart's just like looking at him like, I don't know what's wrong with you, but it's not right. Then we go back to the behind the stage, the interview where the KBBL guys ask them to, can you guys record a promo for us? And they're like, sure, why not? And he's like, can you say that, was it like nobody rocks harder than
Nobody rocks like Bill and Marty on KBVL.
Thank you. And they're like, no, we can't say that because we don't know that you are you rock the hardest. What if somebody rocks harder than you? Like,
We don't want to look stupid.
I love that they're so like they're so literal about it, right? And then they're just like, yeah, we can respect that. How about rock-a-doodle doo? You're listening to Bill and Marty, and they decide that is a good compromise.
Oh.
So the crowd's getting worked up, and they're all outside yelling, "Tap, tap, tap, tap!" And this is when we find out that the stage is covered in water, and it's like a puddle, like it puddles everywhere on the stage. And the promoter says, "I'm not going to lie to you boys, but this is a hockey rink, 6 days a week or whatever." So yeah, and then this is where they get mad, and they're
This
like,
is a rock concert, not a bleeding splish splash show.
I like it that it takes him a second to get to splish splash show too, right? Like it doesn't just come out. He's like, it's not a bleeded splish splash show.
He's like, there was a better word for it, but I just got to get something out there.
Yeah. So the concert begins, the lights start going. We see Otto and Snake sitting next to each other. But like, I think it's interesting that like they purposely show us that because like, are Otto and Snake friends?
No. It would make sense. Somebody's got to be dealing to Otto.
Oh, it's true. It's true. And we get the boys and girls, women, like ladies and men. I love this. Duff beer in association with Laramie cigarettes. Like, I haven't heard an opening like that in decades now.
Hey, the 90s were a wild time.
I know. We're proud to welcome Spinal Tap, and Spinal Tap starts, and it's great. It's all it's all dramatic, just like a metal group should be, right? And they open with what sounds like the most depressing song ever, because they're the children that grew too fast and the dust of a future past or whatever, and it's very, very dark sounding, very metal, and it's great. The show starts basically, right? That's what's important, and the crowd's rocking out. And there's a pyrotechnic guy that blows himself up. I do like that before the pyrotechnic guy blows himself up, they actually like he's only got one arm. Like his sleeves pinned up, and you can see he only has one arm, so he's using his good arm to light the pyrotechnics.
It just knocks him out unconscious, and he's on fire.
Yep. And and they also got like the wind tunnel machine there to make the group look cool, but the guy turns
Medium
it on.
setting.
Yeah, the guy turns it on too much and it blows the lead singer his hair in a way that you can see he's balding. Um, it's uh, it's like it's like nothing's going quite right. But however, Homer is having a great time in the car by himself, listening to the radio, and he's singing the Spanish Flea song.
Yes.
There was a little Spanish flea. um, which didn't have words before, right?
From what I understand, it is an instrumental song.
Right.
But the writer, whoever owns the rights, whatever the case may be, the person who is allowed to make the decision decided that Homer's ad lib on this
is what it would be.
Now the official lyrics of Spanish.
Yeah. Flea. Yeah. And I totally heard that before. So it's true. I've decided. He's also eating new snorfels.
Yeah. I also wondered about that.
But he's humming along. He's singing this. I love the Spanish Flea words. I've always loved them. Like they've always been one of my favorite. I hum it and I sing the Spanish Flea part, but I always forget like the rest of it. Anyway, I love it. And he's happy and he's eating his snorfels in his concert jacket. We go back inside and they're rocking out, right? They're just completely rocking out. The lights are on, beach balls in the crowd. It's a rock concert to the point where the people on one of the second tiers unfolds a sign and it's upside down. It says Spinal Tap rules. But the band like tipped their head to the side so they can try to read it.
Yeah.
And he's all like, thank you. It's great. Like he appreciates it. But just to show you how smart they are, they got to do that. One of them wipes their face off with a towel, throws it into the crowd, to which the crowd chucks it right back at him.
Yeah, whips him in the face.
Yeah, there's a lovely couple. I'm going to say they're lovely because the girl's a larger girl and the guy's a skinny little guy. And he's still got her up on his shoulders and he's working really hard to keep her up there. And I kind of thought that part was funny. And then the crowd does then the band does the normal thing, which is like they try to get the crowd pumped up, right?
Yeah. And this morning we were driving down Route 401.
And before I love that when they're doing this pump up thing, before they say the word Springfield, he checks the back of his guitar to see that it's what the name of the city is. It's Springfield. And of course, Springfield, everyone there is going crazy. And Bart points out, that's only 4 miles from my house.
Yeah.
And they even take the band, Spinal Tap even takes a second to diss Shelbyville, saying like, we thought they knew how to rock in Shelbyville, but basically
nothing
they got
like
nothing
here
on you
in
guys.
Springfield.
Yeah. The usual hype up the crowd band stuff, right? And the crowd's eating it up. And this is one of my favorite parts of the episode. And this is totally the thing that when I think of this episode, this is what I see in my head. And there's a bunch of memes of this too, of this scene too, of Spinal Tap on stage with a half deflated devil coming down from the ceiling.
Even half inflated. It's still impressive.
Yeah, and then and they're like, we all pay tribute to our half inflated
Dark
Lord or whatever, Dark Lord. And during this time, you also see that they're stomping in a puddle.
You our half-inflated Dark Lord.
Yeah. You can see that they're still stomping in puddles because there's puddles all over the stage, and the devil's like crushing the drummer and stuff, but he still keeps trying to drum. And anyways, they all salute him. Yeah, they all salute him, and it's all good. I love that scene. Like it's just, to me, it's so great. And anyways, it's not going good. It's not going well for Spinal Tap on stage. Things are happening, but they're carrying on for now. They're carrying on. But basically, so they try to do more hyping up of the crowd, and you can see I love in this part you can see how much water is on the stage. It's not a little bit of water. It's like they're standing in a pool. All right. And basically they give a signal that the house lights are supposed to come up and you're supposed to see the crowd, because
people think there's only 5 members of Spinal Tap, but it's not true.
And
that's
nothing
supposed
happens.
to be the house lights.
Yeah. So then, they're like, turn on the laser, that doesn't work. So then they're like, turn on the lasers. One of them takes a laser in the eye. They decide that the show is over, and good night Springden. They don't even get the name right.
There will be no encores.
There'll be no encores. And of course, at any good rock show, when it's only been 20 minutes, everyone goes crazy, right? And I love that it's Otto that basically he's like, well, that was great. And then turns to Snake and says, you want to rush the stage, and to which Snake is like, yep. And they start a riot, right? There's a riot happens.
Pretty good.
Homer's still outside in his car enjoying, even as helicopters fly by him.
Now is when he gives us the lyrics.
Yeah. Helicopters fly by him. Cops, like SWAT teams, are pulling in behind him. He has zero clue.
He's eating pork rind lights. Why would he?
And this is when Marge. I love this part. Sorry. This is when Marge sees everything happening on the TV, and we cut to Kent Brockman like showing footage of it, but Kent Brockman mentions, no, never in history have we seen so much violence in a hockey arena. I like that he points out that it's a hockey arena. And everyone's just destroying the place basically, and Marge hopes that her poor little baby's okay, and Lisa's like, see for yourself, because right at that moment, Bart goes swinging by the camera on TV. Marge is horrified, but clearly Bart is fine. And then like Kent does his own little take on the dangers of music or whatever, like the riots.
My 2 cents.
Yeah, the riots at the Mozart's Magic Flute. Apparently this is what music does to people. So apparently just music is violence, right?
Yeah, so what's the answer? Ban all music?
Music, yeah.
In this reporter's opinion, yes.
And this is when Bart and Homer come in, and his shirt's torn up, but other than that, he's really super happy, and he announces to Marge that he wants to be a rock and roll star. Like, that's his new dream. And, Marge doesn't really reply much to that, but like almost right away is like, how's Millhouse?
This is one of my favorite parts.
Where is Millhouse? And Homer's just like, I'll be right back.
I'll be right back.
Out the door. Yeah, just runs out the door, tires screeching. And we cut to Millhouse under a pile of chairs. Like, his jacket's half on, half off. His glasses are gone. He's like crawling out from the pile of chairs. And he's like, help me. Like everyone. I'm here by myself. Help me. So yeah, they forgot Millhouse there. So then, obviously, Marge, so Marge and Homer are having a talk, and Marge is interested in the fact that Bart has said that he wants to become a musician. And she's like, so maybe we should get him a guitar. To which Homer picks up one of Maggie's toys and is like, here, this is a guitar. And she's like, I meant a real guitar. But Homer's like playing the little like toy guitar, like it's got the crank on it.
This
and it's
is real.
But obviously Marge wins, because our next scene takes us to Bart with a shiny new red guitar that even came with its own free instruction book. So clearly he doesn't need lessons. He can just play the guitar book, which is like guitar in 99 easy lessons, right?
Yeah.
And it looks
that
like
actually makes sense. About 99 lessons is probably a good way to learn guitar,
right? And it's like it looks from the guitar looks modern. The book looks like it's from the 50s. Like it's like it's got that look about it.
Music never changes, damn it.
So then we get Bart imagining his life as a rock star.
I like that every time Bart has like a daydream, it's of him just being strung out.
Yeah, he's always an asshole and strung out or like drunk or something.
Yeah.
So like, he calls his fans idiots or something like that from the stage. The next shot, he's like passed out on the ground where people are waiting for his manager's like, people are waiting for you to go on. And he tells them to slag off. I do like that Millhouse.
I'd like to play me latest chart topper. It's called Me Fans Are Stupid Pigs.
Thank you. I like that Millhouse is included in his daydream, where it's like Millhouse's haircut. It's still Millhouse's haircut, but spikier, like longer, spikier, and cooler.
You've changed.
Yeah, and he's still got that cool jacket on, though. He's still got the cool jacket. Bart throws an empty liquor bottle at him. There's liquor all around Bart, This is the life that Bart wants. Bart's like cool, So then Bart takes to learning how to play the guitar, and he's practicing, and Lisa comes in. I don't know, is she being supportive, or is she
I
trying
think
to
a
annoy
little of
him?
both. I think she's trying to be supportive, but also be like, oh yeah, if you had started instruments like when I did, maybe you could be this good.
Right? So Bart tells her to go away because like he finds her good playing distracting while he's trying
I'm
to
just
learn.
jamming with you.
She's so innocent about it.
Yeah.
And she's got a smile on her face, and it is like a slightly mischievous smile. I feel like when I look at it, like not super mischievous, just that little bit of like, "Hey, you
Yeah,
suck."
yeah,
Um, and Bart just keeps practicing, and like to the fact where he's practicing outside, waiting for the school bus, and uh, Lisa's watching him, and Nelson walks up and hears him, and he's like, "What are you playing?" And Bart's like, "Polly Wally Doodle," and Nelson's like, "Well, it sounds Polly Wally crappy."
Burn. Oh yeah, sorry.
It's okay. Thank you. So we actually got that, and we did say burn. And then Bart, looking upset, walks onto the bus and sees Otto, and Otto's like, guitar, like sweet, like cherry guitar, man. And he's like, Bart's like, I think it's broken. But Otto is like, really, give it here. And he grabs it and he like just wails on it like a pro, right? Like he's just like, like everything is perfect. The guitar sounds amazing. And Otto is just like the coolest dude ever. And all the kids are like cheering and everyone's really excited because it's like, Otto's cool. But we all knew Otto was cool. Can we just be honest about that? We all knew.
Man.
Okay. I do love that he's like Otto Man, and you're like, oh, he's just saying like Otto Man.
Right.
But later on in the episode, we'll see that on his driver's license, his name is Otto Man. So Otto tells Bart that this is all he did in high school was play guitar. And basically, oh yeah, I love it too because he's like, my old man told me I was wasting my life, but look at me now type of speech.
Never amount to anything. Oh.
Yeah, it's like you drive a freaking school bus.
Yeah.
And then he continues to play and does Freebird for everybody, right? He starts playing Freebird, which is like not a short song. The traffic is piling up behind the school bus because he's still just parked outside the Simpsons house. But everybody, I love that everybody's jamming to it, and to the fact that even some student holds up a lighter and like lights the lighter. And I'm like, which student has the lighter? I'm just curious. This is when Martin decides to like intervene, and he's like, although he will receive several wedgies from his classmates, he's going to point out that they're late. They were supposed to be at school 10 minutes ago, which sends Otto into a panic. And he basically tells everyone to buckle up, but there are no seatbelts in the school bus. Buckle up, let's go, and zooms like pedal to the metal, driving fast. Like all the kids' hair whipped back, and they drive through the Springfield tire yard fire thing. This is also when we see this Spinal Tap bus where they're talking about how great last night was. Like it was really quite good. Like even though they ended the show after 20 minutes and someone took a laser in the eye and all that, and there was a riot. And they don't really. I don't think they actually they might clip the Spinal Tap bus, but I don't think they actually hit it. Maybe. But anyways, the Spinal Tap bus goes crashing off the cliff.
This guy is a game of chicken.
Yeah, and bursts into flames. They drive through the annual police picnic where, of course, like Quimby and everyone's there, and they're like, did you get the license plate number? And none of the cops there thought to look at the license plate number. And eventually they come crashing into the school where they just go, yeah, they're at the school, right? Or they're like at the Springfield
at the Jebediah Simpson Jebediah Springfield
monument. And I love that the bumper comes off the bus, and the one thing that everybody sees is a "How's my driving?" Call 1-800, and everybody goes run into the phones. So the next thing we see is Otto explaining to the cops and to Principal Skinner that he's had 15 crashes and not a single fatality.
Pretty good. It's pretty good. Pretty good numbers.
Those are pretty good numbers. The cops want to see his license, and he's like, "No can do.
No can do."
Never got one, but my name is in my underwear if you need proof of my name. And then he realizes he also has the wrong underwear on. Skinner says, until you get a license and wear your own underwear, you're on suspension without pay. So he's not even
I feel
fired.
like the license thing is reasonable. You can't tell him he has to wear his own underwear.
Right? He's not even fired, though. He's just suspended until he fixes the situation. Skinner announces that he drove an all-terrain vehicle in Da Nang, so he can handle driving the school bus for now. And it shows Principal Skinner on the school bus, and the kids are like, Bart's disturbed that Otto's not there, and
Otto, that's one palindrome you won't be hearing anytime soon,
right? And Bart's upset. Maybe the other kids are too, but at the very least, Bart's disturbed. And they all start singing. So anyways, they're driving and they're being very orderly. And I'm guessing that's because Skinner is on the bus. And they're all singing "Hail to the Bus Driver, Bus Driver, Bus Driver" song. I do like that it's like he drinks and he cusses. He stinks up the buses. Hail to the bus driver, man. And Principal Skinner is singing along and laughing. And this is it. And this is where we start to see that maybe he's not the best bus driver because he cannot merge onto the highway or whatever that is there because there's too many cars.
Yeah. Oh, too late. Nope. Oh, that would be cutting it a little close.
Right? Decides that one of the good citizens will wave them in. So we're just going to sit here until someone lets us in. This is when we get our first Patty and Selma since last episode.
It's been a while.
It's been a while, right? Sorry. So we cut to Patty and Selma where they're just talking about random stuff. There's a mention of Homer getting something stuck in his nose,
and that they have it on video. We'll watch the video later tonight.
Yeah. And then you go up to then we see who's at the bus depot at the driver license place, the DMV. I got this. And it's Otto, of course, because he needs to fix his driver's license situation. And you know what? There's to be honest, like before he even starts taking the test, are you thinking he's going to pass? Because I'm not.
He hasn't even taken his headphones off.
Right. And this is when he asks Patty if she's always been a chick.
Right off the bat.
Yeah, because he doesn't want to offend her, but you were born a man, weren't you? But he doesn't want to offend her, which,
it's after she's come out and gone like, hey, I'm going to grade you. If I grade you with the green pin, it's good. If I grade you with the red pin, it's bad. Any questions?
Yeah, I have one. You always been a chick?
Yeah, yes. And I like as soon as he says this, she just drops the green pen because she will not need it anymore. So then we show him like driving through like a pylon cone situation, and he's smashing them all. And when he's done, he thinks he's done really good, right? He's stoked. He's like, right on. How'd I do? And she's like, you spelt bus wrong on your application. Cut to Skinner, who's now in a panic because they still can't get the bus into the traffic.
He's grown a 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah, like and well, the thing was, it was like fully daytime when we were with them before, and now it's actually like when you can see the outside, it's actually more evening now. Like they've been sitting there quite some time. When Ralph tries to continue singing the bus driver song, Skinner gets upset. He's losing his cool. Cut to Otto finding out that now he's getting evicted. Because there's an eviction sign on his door. His landlord walks up. The locks have been the door's been padlocked.
Why?
Yeah. And this is what we find out. Like, he's like, "Can I go get my stuff?" And he's like, "No." And he's like, "All I found in there was a jar of mustard and a couple of old Psycho magazines."
I had mustard.
I like that. That's the part that he's kind of the most taken with. Like, I had mustard. That's pretty exciting. Bart, after a very long day, who knows how long it took them to get home from that bus, but now he's gone to the Quickie Mart where he is asked Apu to pump me up a squishy and don't spare the syrup. Of course, we all remember the episode where we find out that when you have too much
Yeah.
syrup in a squishy, it takes you to strange places.
Ooh, that's good squishy. Springfield, it's a hell of a town.
So Apu gets him a experimental flavor called a chutney squishy.
Gross.
Yeah, Bart doesn't look impressed with it either after one sip, and throws it away into a dumpster where Otto pops his head out, and again saying "Otto man," pointing that out.
Dumpster brand trash bins are top of the line. This is a Trashco waste disposal unit,
right? It's like pointing out the fact that like this isn't even like a good one or whatever, right? Like he's not even. So basically, Bart learns that Otto is homeless now. After everything that happened that day, Otto is homeless and says, and very kindly invites Otto to come home with him. You can live in our garage.
Something all parents want to do. Your children have a relationship with an adult and invite them to stay in your home.
Right? I mean, of course, this move-in goes incredibly smoothly, and it's not 3 a.m., it's totally 3 a.m., and Otto has got the guitar out, and he's playing as loud as he can, and Bart's playing the tambourine with him, because obviously Bart can't play the guitar, so he's defaulted to the tambourine, and they're jamming. They're having a great time at 3 a.m. in the garage, playing as loud as they can. And
I would venture to guess Bart did not complete his 99 lessons.
I don't think he did. The door suddenly opens behind them, and as Homer and Marge were woken up by this loud ruckus, and Marge angrily is, "What's going on here?" And Bart records the conversation about Otto living in the garage, but of course it's not really Marge on the other end of that conversation.
Wait, it's not?
It's Bart, and Marge looks at Homer and says, "That's not my voice. I don't sound like that." And Homer replies, Everybody thinks that," or whatever. The whole line of, and nobody thinks they sound what they sound like, right? The first time you hear your own voice on tape, you're like, "That's not me." So then we're trying to figure out Otto's situation now, right? Homer and Marge and Bart and Otto are all sitting at the table, and Marge is kind of like, "I need to understand this, and like, why can't you go stay with your parents?" And basically, they're playing the tough parent card, right? They're like, "You can't stay with us." Maybe the smart one, but you can't stay with us. And of course, the one to kind of come around first is Marge, right? Because she's like, "Doesn't the Bible say to do unto others as you'd have them do unto you?" And Homer replies with, "Didn't the Bible say thou shalt not take in moochers
into thy hut?"
Into thy hut. Bart saying, "Please, Dad," and also we find out like Otto refers to his dad as the Admiral, so I'm going to take for granted that this is one of those classic, like, stereotypical, like, Otto's one of those ones, like, his parents are strict and they're upright and they're formal people, and Otto is
it's
not.
The exact opposite of a Ned Flanders situation.
Yes. Bart offering to help around the house and stuff like that, and if he can stay, and that he can, Otto will chip in money when he can, and of course, the cast... Homer does agree, but the catch is that he gets to treat Otto like trash.
Seems fair.
You're right. Surprisingly, Otto doesn't seem particularly bothered by that anyway, so it's all good.
Like, you were gonna do it anyway.
Yeah. So Otto takes to living on their couch, and apparently all he does all day is watch TV. And he's not doing, basically, I think the impression we're supposed to be getting here is that he's not working to fix his situation, right? He seems to be quite happy, just
he's just looking for books from a vampire's point of view.
Right? Right? Like, and it gets to the point where he explains to Marge that all he's ever really been good at is driving a bus, and now he can't do it because the man says he doesn't have a little piece of paper. Marge is like, "Go get the little piece of paper," okay? Like, perfectly a perfectly reasonable reaction. The next thing we see is Otto playing more music, kind of loudish, and I love that this is when Homer comes in and he's like, "Can you knock it off? I can't hear myself think." And so Otto stops, and Homer thinks, "I think I want peanuts."
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Thank you."
Not to go too far back, but I love when
You're fine.
Otto's sitting on the couch with Maggie and he's like,
I could go for a can of corn.
"What's a can of corn?"
Oh, because there's a commercial where they were announcing that corn was 57 cents.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And also, just while we went back there, he usually reads books that include ones where men send in naked pictures of their girlfriends or something like that.
Yeah.
However, this is when we find out when Homer officially asks Bart, "Why aren't you playing the guitar anymore?" And Bart's just like, "I was no good at it. I wasn't good at it right away, so I quit. Don't be mad at me." And Homer's like, "I'm not
proud
mad.
of him.
Yeah, I'm not mad. If something's hard to do, then it's not worth doing. Stick that guitar in the closet, next to your shortwave radio with Radio Bart, the karate outfit, which I can't remember what episode that is, but when he did karate, and his unicycle, which he'll actually be on a unicycle in future in a couple future episodes, I believe, or something like that." Anyway, so we understand how the Simpsons work, right?
Right.
Right. Otto continues to cause trouble in the Simpsons house, including using the bathroom too much and his long hair clogging up the. I do like it is that Homer's kind of final straw is that Otto's long hair clogs up the drain, since Homer's got no hair to
Not
clog
that
up
he
the drain.
poked Homer in the belly, called him Poppin' Fresh, and said, "You're supposed to laugh."
I love that part too. I forgot to mention it. Thank you for going back. So we're doing that. And Homer is like, he's got to go. The next thing that Otto does in the house is he's tucking Lisa into bed at night and telling her stories. And of course, he's telling her a scary story with he's got the candle out and everything, and he's telling her a scary story about a murder. Lisa looks terrified. Like, this is, probably not the greatest move. Like,
we also get a classic ongoing Simpsons gag where we see a ton of gold between the floorboard and the ceiling.
Yes.
They did that in Radio Bart, where they missed the alien and the dinosaur, and
Yes. So I do love that Otto goes all in with the storytelling too, because
it's like a classic urban legend too. That's what I love about it.
And then she's like, Lisa's like, "How do you know this or whatever?" And he's like, "Because I was that maniac." So it wasn't even like because I was attacked by him, but because he was the maniac, which makes Lisa scream, and that kind of just that does it for Homer again. Like, he needs out of here. Marge is like, he doesn't have a family, so he doesn't have anywhere to go. And that's when Homer points out that this isn't Happy Days, and Otto's not the Fonz, because the Fonz stayed with the Cunninghams, right? And that's when Otto walks in and is like, "Hey, Mr. S, just like Mr. C," and so like,
people had respect for the Fonz, damn it.
Right. I like that he's like, your hair drain clogging days are over. You're going to get out of here. See, I told you it was the hair clogged. The hair really set him off.
The straw that broke the camel's back.
Yep. So Otto doesn't know what to do. And luckily Marge is smart, and she's like, "Go take the test. Like go take the test."
I got a 0 last time.
Go take the test so you can be an adult, type of thing. And he decides to do it, but first he does stuff
Never been called an adult. I've been trapped as one.
Yeah. Thank you. That's that. I was like, there's a joke there that I'm forgetting. This is when we see Otto studying for the driver. He's going to study for the driver exam this time. He's not just going to go in there hungover. He's going to study for it this time. And this is when he reads alcohol increases your ability to drive, and he thinks it's true. The answer is false, and he's shocked. And this is when Bart actually looks kind of despaired, kind of like, "Oh God, like, you think that alcohol makes you a better driver? This isn't going to go well." But in any case, Bart, ever supportive, goes to the DMV with him. And he's like, Otto has a moment where he's like, I gotta do something. Your dad called me a bum, and he's like, he didn't call you a bum, he called you a sponge, and that makes him even more angry because
hammer fists cracks into the wall,
right? Because he's like a sponge, and like that makes him even more angry. So does this I like this like how this sponge, the word sponge, has really fired him up, and he's like, does this look like something a sponge
it's like
would
calling
do?
Marty McFly chicken.
Yes. So then he goes in there and walks up to Patty and is all like,
she calls him Wee Willie Washout.
Thank you. And this is when they bond together. They bond together here because he announces that he's here to pass the test and show Homer, a thing or two type of thing. And right away she's all like, oh, to make Homer upset. Yeah, here you go. Right. Like, let me help you. Like, here's the test. Let me help you help you get started. Lists a bunch of the answers. And then we cut to them in the bus with Otto driving and her not even paying attention. They're just sharing terrible stories about Homer and how Homer had a whole chicken wing on his face that he didn't even notice. And she's loving it, and he, to the point where he even hits like a cardboard cutout of a person, and he's like, what was that? And she was like, it doesn't matter, like,
Yeah.
She is purely in this just to piss off Homer at this point, right? Anyways, it must have worked because the bus pulls up to the school and Otto is the bus driver again. Yeah. And this is when we see his driver's license and that his name is Otto Mann. His driver's license is probationary, though. Apparently, as impressed as she was with his Homer stories, she's not going to give him a full license right off the bat. Right. He's listed at 5'10", weighing 150 pounds. Born 01/18/63, so
62 years old.
Yeah, January 18th, 1963. I found it interesting too that they wrote it day, month, year instead of month, day, year, as you often see on stuff from America. So I just thought that was interesting. I'm just going to point that out because it's clearly there's no 18th month in the year. Anyways, his eyes are black, his hair is black. There you go. There you go. And the kids get on the bus. They're singing "Hail to the Bus Driver." Skinner looks out the window and kind of like happily is like, "Hail to the bus driver man." Like, he thinks it's great that. I mean, of course he thinks it's great because he
doesn't have to do it anymore. Yeah,
he couldn't handle the pressure. And instead of the regular, just going into the regular Simpsons theme, we get the guitar riff of it.
Right, but all I've got is.
Yeah, that was the Otto Show.
Yeah.
The Otto Show.
I remember. Okay, so here's my thing. We've been talking as we've approached these final episodes, like, oh my god, we're so excited, and I had a lot of memories about this episode for some reason, a lot. I don't know why. And then I watched it, and I was like, the fuck. Does this episode suck? And it's funny. So I use the Simpsons archive. If you guys are Simpsons fans, go there. They have so much stuff. Like, they've got past episode stuff, upcoming episode stuff, news revolving around this, and blah, 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 blah. I use it a lot for their older stuff. And they always have, because it's like 3 to 5 guys, I think, if I've picked it up well enough. And they always have like a TV guide synopsis, and then they have like their review. So this one's reviewed by 3 of them. Here are the 3 reviews. First one says, blech, not a great episode. Actually, one of the worst this season. The second one says, this wasn't Simpsonia at its best. And the third one says, yawn. Yeah. So I don't know that I feel so down as to where it was a yawn to me. But coming out of an episode, like even last week, where it's like movie reference, Sideshow Bob, this, that, the other thing. It was just like how I told you. I was like, man, I feel like I missed the references in this. Like, I feel like I don't have much to, and you're like, no, they just don't exist. They don't exist
Yeah,
in this one.
this wasn't like, so like you had Spinal Tap. I think Spinal Tap was our big thing that happened.
It was like the reference. They're like, we're not going to get clever. We have Spinal Tap.
And they had, and like, if you were watching the time, a Spinal Tap's in there. Like the whole Spinal Tap thing takes about like a little over a quarter of the show. Like it's a hefty amount of time. The going to the concert and doing Spinal Tap. This is, I mean, like, even if I like pulled out, like, because like after I watched it, I pulled up a bunch of stuff, and it's like basically it's like, here are your references: Spanish Flea, Billy Beer, Spinal Tap, Happy Days, Freebird, and the dumpster thing. Like this is pretty much it.
And that's a stretch, the dumpster thing. It's like, for anybody who didn't catch it, a dumpster is like a name brand for a certain, like, just like you would call a Kleenex, maybe not you Canadians anymore, just like you would call a Kleenex, that's a name brand, is Kleenex. It's a, it's a tissue.
It's
But
everyone calls it a dumpster, right?
And that's what we're talking about this episode. That's the deep dive we're taking.
That's the deep dive. Yeah. Well, I'm just like one of the other things that like that's been pointed out on two of the references to this is that obviously the shortwave radios from Radio Bart, the karate suits from when is a reference to when when Flanders failed, and then in the unicycle doesn't get referenced previously, but is later written in an episode called "I Annoyed Grunt Bot." So like this is as deep as this episode gets. So like when you say I feel like there wasn't a lot there, like just straight up honest, it wasn't.
Yeah.
But it's an awesome episode. And I think when you're a kid, Otto is the coolest dude in all of Springfield when you're a kid.
You know what's funny? Okay, so really quickly before I rate this episode, he wasn't the bus driver, but there was an Otto like in my neighborhood. This guy, I can't remember his name, but he fucking shredded on guitar, and like his window, like he lived with his parents in probably his late 20s. And his window faced out to the street, so we would all come out to like his front yard, and he would shred, like he would like kind of do like a mini show, but
yeah.
And one time I had this pretty cool guitar that I wasn't even mine; I was borrowing from a friend, but I was like 11, And he was like, "Dude, let me check that guitar. I'll take it inside and play it." And he went inside and just never came out, and I never saw that guitar again, ever. I ended up paying my friend for that guitar like years later, like when we became adults.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So I guess I kind of already I have no disdain for the episode, but we talk about how sometimes we'll come in with a lower opinion of shows, and then we do the show, and we're like, you know what, I actually love that about it. I love that. I didn't realize that was a reference. Okay. And then we go like, oh, that's higher. I came in at like a 2.5, and I want to rate it now like a 2.3. Like there's
I feel you. On that one 100%.
It's like the more we dove into it, the less I found to love about it. Besides just like we said last week, it was like almost automatically when it's a Sideshow Bob episode,
easy
boost. Okay, then we're gonna go from there, and you'll get it notched away. I feel the same about Mr. Burns episode, a Principal Skinner episode, an Otto Man episode. They're gonna start high, and it's gonna get knocked down. And this one just like it gets knocked down fast. I wish there was less Spinal Tap, more Otto.
Yeah, I think that was my problem with it too. I was like,
why not just do a Spinal Tap episode and then have a good B story? Not like, okay, half of it's Spinal Tap, then half of it's, maybe that was the error I'm finding.
Yeah, I felt like there was, I understand why they made Spinal Tap a big deal in this episode, because it's Spinal Tap, right? There's some really good actors in Spinal Tap and stuff like that, and it is a big deal to have them come to Springfield and stuff like that. But I feel like you almost could have just Springton. I almost feel like you could have just dragged that out longer and actually had some really class jokes in it. Like have Bart trying to struggle to get tickets to go see Spinal Tap or something, add another 5 minutes for that.
Listen, we're not fucking Simpsons writers. We won't ever claim to be, but this does feel like two ideas come together as one.
In an awkward way too, because like even the guitar doesn't, you don't like to be honest with you, to have what happened, you didn't need Otto to play the guitar really. You know what I mean? He could have just been. There's plenty of times where Otto's late on the school bus run. And there's so many ways I feel like there's so many ways they could have done it that they decided not to, and then I feel like they just tried to stitch some ideas together and be like, I
feel like there might also be a direct correlation between how we score episodes and the length of them.
Is this one shorter?
We're at 59 minutes right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 2.3. I think that's where that's my lowest of the season. So,
dude, we're in sync. Apparently, we are in sync today because I was thinking 2.3 because I didn't want to give it a 2.5 because 2.5 felt too.
That's where I came in at. I'm not even gonna. I was like 2.5 feels baseline for an episode I didn't dislike. Yeah. But I'm not in love with. I'm looking at my scores right now. I've rated one below a 2.5 all season, and I gave it a 2.45. And I'm pretty sure it's because I was like, I feel like I can't give it a 2.5, but I want to be. I feel like it's right there.
Yeah,
that's kind of my baseline. So I haven't gone under it one time, and I will happily say, I kind of don't like this episode that much.
No, it's a 2.3 for me too. I was like, I can't give it a 2.5. I think for me, some of it was like, I would have just preferred a whole episode about Otto. Like, I don't know, could have showed him trying 100%. To go to his parent, could have showed him trying to go to his parents' house or something and have him funnily get kicked out or whatever. There's plenty of material there room to make Otto funny. And I feel like we probably could have just done that. And I feel like in the future, when there's more Otto-heavy episodes, that it's better than this one.
Yeah,
and I guess
first time trying. Hopefully, it just gets better from there.
And I felt like too, like part of me is like they didn't go far enough with a Spinal Tap. It's like they really tried to pack it in there at the beginning, but kind of also they could have just done a whole episode on Spinal Tap, and it probably would have been more entertaining in a way.
I agree. 100%.
Anyways, the 2.3s.
2.3s. That's back-to-back episodes where we have the same rating.
I know we're in sync today. It's all
Funsies. Right. You have given an episode a 2 this season.
Did I? I don't remember which one it was.
That's the lowest mark on the season. It was. I should title these because I just have them
title
numbered.
Them. Yes.
It was 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, no. 1, 2, 3, 4 ago. Yeah. Episode 54 overall.
Right.
I don't remember what
I don't know what that was. Yeah. 4 episodes ago?
I think 4
episodes ago? So 1, 2, 3. Was it separate vocations? Was it right after the 5s?
So it was 2 after the 5s. It's 2 after Homer at the Bat.
Dog of Death.
Dog of Death. Yeah, that makes sense.
That explains it. Dog of Death.
Yep.
I mean, I think if I'm looking at the trivia for on the Simpsons wiki, if I'm looking at the trivia for this, apparently the Admiral and I don't get along is a reference to Jim Morrison and his father, who was a rear admiral in the U.S. Navy during the Vietnam War, and that's fine. It's just I felt like none of the pop culture references were so great in this one. Like, lots of times they are really good. Like even that crusty one with the telethon. It's like you didn't need to know that was based on Frank Sinatra or whatever. They're at a telethon. Telethons are like that, right? Like it was vague enough, I guess, or whatever. These are deep cuts. These are deep cuts in this one. Like they're deep cuts even for The Simpsons.
Right. I think there's one cool thing that you can that like a lot of people won't understand how difficult it is that Nancy Cartwright, who voices Bart, did an impression of Marge as Bart in the recording. You know what I mean? Like that's you went in your voice and did an impression of another. I think that's
a impression of
like a voice
character.
Actress type thing. Yeah, that's an impressive feat.
That's cool. I mean, it's not to say that this episode doesn't have its moments. Definitely there's some funny stuff.
Like for sure a million times in my life, every time I've heard it, I've said there was a little Spanish flea. A record star he thought he'd be. He heard of singers like Beatles, the chipmunks he'd seen on TV. Well, not a little Spanish flea.
No, 100. 110%. Just out of just to show you how high quality this episode was. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9 goofs that happened during this episode, whereas like a lot of them, there's a lot fewer than that. So there was a lot of goofs in this episode as well. So maybe that's just the general feeling about the whole episode for everyone.
Yeah, I would be curious. I'll give you trivia in just a second, and I have the thing pulled up. But how this rates like on the Simpsons chart in this season.
Yeah. Like
maybe like the IMDb ratings, I think is the one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I just think that it had its moments. It's just not as strong as so many of the other ones. So I understand this wasn't the greatest one from.
It is one of the lower rate. It's a 7.8.
Right, which is lower for the season, right?
Yeah. There is I think Homer at the Bat is 8.7, and then I don't know what episode this is. It's 10. Basically, yeah, it's one of the lower ones. It doesn't touch any bad categories, but.
Well, so here you go. But here you go too. That episode came in the ratings at the 41st, which was down from the season's average ranking of 35. So it dropped in the rankings.
I think maybe people just didn't care about an Otto episode as much. You know how you used to get the TV promos that are like, oh, blah, 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 tune in this week. And it was like, who the fuck? I don't give a shit about Otto. This show is called The Simpsons.
Yeah. And I guess like some people, like just from browsing this little thing I'm looking at here, some people were really excited to see the Spinal Tap stuff. So maybe like to see the actors do Spinal Tap again.
It was 8 years after the movie came out. So you know, it had been a while since.
But there was still a strong fandom, right?
Yeah,
so
100%.
People were pretty stoked about it. So
I mean, how long ago did Wayne's World come out? And you're telling me if those dudes didn't throw on the shit, people wouldn't be just right on it right now.
Yeah, people lose their shit, right?
Yeah.
All right, bring on the trip. Oh wait, we didn't do our character bio.
Oh, yep. Believe it or not, it's Otto. His main occupation is a bus driver for Springfield Elementary. His side gigs are a driver for Springfield Nuclear Power Plant family events, Springfield Poolmobile, Springfield Seniors Gambling Junket Bus, and the Springfield Bloodmobile. His favorite songs are Freebird, Purple Haze, Frankenstein, and Iron Man.
There we go.
His literary interests are stuff from the vampire's point of view.
Yes.
His funky friend is Snake, so they are friends. It's right here in the book.
They are friends. Right, okay.
And his driving record is 15 accidents, not a single fatality.
That's a good driving record.
His quote is, the only thing I was ever good at was driving a bus, and now I'm the man. And now the man says I need a piece of paper to do that.
So get that piece of paper. I love that apparently he was hired without anyone checking any of his credentials. I do love that.
Springfield plays fast and loose. They know that they could always just get a pitchfork and torch mob going if they need. So,
right.
Okay, trivia.
Ready for trivia?
I will say these are some not that easy questions.
Okay, I'm ready for it.
I'm going to give you a quote. You tell me who said it.
Okay.
Oops, lost a nail. Well, that's leprosy for you.
Is it Mr. Burns?
It's Mr. Burns. Good job.
I remember that.
I remember it. Fight not doing the impression as I quoted it. I think I might have started and transferred out. Not that that's why you got it. Okay. Springfield's veterinarian flunked out of what kind of school? There's multiple choice, but if you want to, I'm going to give you a moment here.
Was it dental school?
The three options are medical, Princess Penelope, or law.
Law. Is it law? It's law school, isn't it? It's law school.
It's Princess Penelope School.
Oh God! Who is it?
I don't know. It's just Springfield's veterinarian. So now I need to look up. Need to make a note on that.
Well, I'm just thinking of that one veterinarian that we saw in The Dog of Death, but is there another one? Because did he flunk out of Princess Penelope school?
I think that's the only time we see him, though. Because it references the What's It Called show.
that show that we learned about for that episode.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what that's even supposed to mean.
I'm so confused. That's okay. I was bound to get super stumped by a question at some point, right?
I would have 100% been just boned on that one.
Like, I was thinking, I'm like, whenever, like, a lot of times when people in Springfield flunk out of something that's related to something, it's like usually like kind of sideways related, but not directly, right? It's like,
I don't even know what I literally Googled Princess Penelope School, and it's like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude?
You get what I mean, right? Though it's like the person that flunked out of law school is now a doctor or something.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
100%.
Like it's something kind of sideways relatable, but Princess Penelope School. Okay, sure.
Well, there you go.
Right now, somebody out there is going, well, you guys haven't watched this blah 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 season, and it's like, no, we have not.
and I would say sometimes, like, it'll sound like Kristen and I are like, wait, what episode was 2 ago? It's because sometimes we're like 2 or 3 weeks apart in recording. Like, it just, I know you guys are hearing them weekly, and it sounds like we're in real good order, but we're just real far out ahead of you guys. That's what's happening.
Yeah, we are. So, like, you might have listened to that episode yesterday. We recorded it like a month and a half ago.
And my brain don't work like that. And plus, I don't listen to this shitty show. Just kidding. I would say that I listen to this show more than I've listened to any podcast that I've done.
Well, that's encouraging. Is that because you have to go through and find the scores if you didn't write them? No, I'm joking. I
mean, I did originally to find them all. Now I keep track of them. But no, I love the cold opens you'll sometimes put at the front. I like to see what they are, and like
I'll put little things.
Me, I'm a guy. I love a cold open like that, so it's just a fun little.
Well, sometimes we say funny things before the music starts.
I try so we can make it easy for editing.
So I just leave it. I leave it in there.
It works. It 100% works.
One time we had a whole conversation that kind of bookended some stuff. And I think it was like you were about to hit the start record, but then you stopped because I said something.
Perfecto.
I think
we're
it's good.
Relatable, damn it. Well, a fairly forgettable episode, I would say. One that, for whatever reason, I was very excited about. The next two are so the next one is mine. It's fine. It's a good episode. You get such a banger.
It's a good one. I'm excited for it.
Which technically, because it gets included in this season, it was not part of the season originally. So we could talk about that once we get there. It was played like a couple months out between the two. Yeah, but it's generally accepted as a season 3 episode.
Well, that's cool. I like it. I'm there for it. But yeah, I mean, and then we're done season 3, and then we're gonna do unlike for season 1, season 2, we will be doing like some wrap up stuff for season 3 where we talk about the season as a whole. We're gonna go back. We're gonna do an episode where we kind of talk about the season as a whole. We're gonna talk about couch gags and chalkboard gags and just, I don't know, overall good moments, bad moments, things that stood out from the season, and kind of wrap it up as like a nice putting it all together as a whole thing, which I'm really excited about because obviously I wasn't here for some of the episodes, for 8 of them. So I have to refresh my memory on those 8 episodes, but it'll be fun because I think overall, season 3 is, to me, will always be a classic season because season 1 is not the greatest season of The Simpsons, I think, overall, but it's necessary. And it was their transition from the Tracy Ullman show to like being their totally, and season 2. And I think in season 2 and season 3 is when you start to see like the actual humor of The Simpsons start to really, like, you see in season 3, you start to see a lot of the running gags and the actual humor come together.
Takes off.
Yeah, exactly. Right?
And
it's a good foundation season.
And we have like an additional connection because, like, we took 5 years off in between in season 3. We came back with a different co-host, and we're transitioning into we're going to hit season 4, and it'll be our first season together, and we're going to kind of running this thing for hopefully a while like this. And
and I'll have had some practice by then, so I'm understanding.
It's a transitional season for The Simpsons as well as it is for us.
It's true. Nicely said.
Anything else about this episode?
It was great. In its own way. I'm just gonna be super Canadian for a second. And like I really thought it was really nice and mediocre.
All right. I'll do mine really American, but since we'll get shadow banned if I pull out this gun, don't use this clip on YouTube. Don't use this clip on YouTube. Yeah. Check us out on the social medias, all that good stuff. Thank you, Kristen. This was fun. Appreciate you
Thank
a lot.
you. Have a good night.
Thanks everybody for listening. Okay.
I'll be here all week.
Be sure to tip your waitress.
Shh.